Now let's look at the last example, example number 4. It's a word problem. It's going to be very similar to the ones that we have covered on the last section for combination. We have the marketing department of a company has a budget of $30,000. So that's the total budget for advertising. We know that television ads cost $1,000, radio ads cost $200, and newspapers cost $500. Now if you notice, we have three unknowns. If we have three things that we don't know, three variables, we need to be able to have three equations in order to solve it. The department wants to run 30 ads total per month and have as many radio ads as television ads and newspapers combined. How many of each type of ads should the department run each month? So your first equation is going to be very similar to what we covered before. We know that television ads cost $1,000, radio $200, newspaper $500. So the first one will be dealing with how much money we are spending, and we know that it has to be $30,000. So for television, let's go and use the letter T. So it's going to be 1,000 for every television ad, plus 200 for every radio ad, plus 500 for every newspaper ad. Does it look familiar to what we've done before? And that's going to be equal to 30,000. Now usually if I'm dealing with these large numbers, if you notice, all of them have two zeros, so I can just divide by 100 or just get rid of two zeros on each equation. It's like dividing by 100 on each term. So the easier equation, or the most simple equation, will be 10t plus 2r plus 5n is equal to 300. Now it says, what else do we have? The department wants to run 60 ads. So the total number of ads will be t plus the number of radio plus the number of newspaper ads should be 60. The last equation has to do with the next sentence, and they want to have as many ads radio as television and newspaper combined. So the newspaper plus the television has to be equal to the radio ads. So they need to have as many radio ads as television and newspaper combined, so that'll be a plus in between. So now we have three equations. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go and rewrite this one, and I'm going to place my t's together, my n's together, and my n's together. So the first one stays the same. The second one stays the same. The only one that will be changing is the last one. We're basically going to subtract r on both sides, or move the r to the left, becomes a negative. So let's place them in order. So we have t minus r, because that becomes a negative, plus n, and that's going to be equal to 0. So both equations are equivalent. Now we can go and solve it. So step 1. So we're going to have to cancel the t's, the r's, or the n's. They all look pretty similar, and I'm not going to select the r's. I want to be able to cancel the r's. And if we can place an arrow, that will be very helpful. So I'm going to combine the first one and the last one, and I'm going to cancel the r, so I'm going to multiply this one by 2, so it becomes a positive 2, and it'll cancel with a negative 2. So let's go and rewrite it. We have, first one stays the same, 10t plus 2r plus 5n is equal to 300. The last one will be multiplied by 2, so 2 times t will be 2t, negative 2r plus 2n is equal to 0. Now combine them, so the r's cancel. We have 12t plus 7n is equal to 300. Now I'm going to do it once again. I'm going to cancel the r's again, but in this case I'm going to choose the second one and the third one. And if you notice, they automatically cancel. So I just need to rewrite it. T plus R plus N is equal to 60. T minus R plus N is equal to 0. That cancels. So we have 2t plus 2n is equal to 60. So that's my step number 1. Step number 2, I'm going to combine both equations. 12t plus 7n is equal to 300. And 2t plus 2n is equal to 60. And I want to be able to cancel the t's or the n's. Notice that this is just like the problems that we had before, where are much easier to solve. So I'm going to cover this up. And let me just cover this one. So if you notice, now that I have step number 2, these are problems that you guys have seen before. So I want to be able to cancel the t's or the n's. I'm going to cancel the t's because I can make this a negative 12 by multiplying by negative 6, and that will cancel. First one stays the same, 12t plus 7n is equal to 300. The bottom one multiplied by negative 6, so negative 12t minus 12n is equal to negative 360. That will cancel. So that gives me negative 5n is equal to negative 60. And divide by negative 5 on both sides. And I get a whole number, so I'm very happy because I did not make any mistakes. Remember, the most common mistakes are the signs that you guys will make. Sometimes you'll forget to make that negative. Or just be able to rewrite the correct equations over. When you transfer one equation to another, sometimes you guys rush, and I do as well. And we make silly mistakes. So n is equal to 12. That means the newspapers are 12. Now let's look at the question. How many of each type of ad should the department run? So we need to be able to find all 3. And we're going to find t by being able to substitute. We're going to substitute into either one of those 2 equations. The second one looks much smaller numbers. So it'll be 2t plus 2, but instead of the n will be at 12 is equal to 60. This is equal to 12. So 2t plus 24 is equal to 60. I'm going to move my 24 to the right, becomes a negative 24. So we have 2t is equal to 36. T is equal to 18. So t is equal to 18. That will be TVADs. And now that we have 2 variables, we can go back into any of the first 3 equations and plug it in. I'm not going to plug it into the one that's easiest on step number 3. I'm going to plug it in on the one that looks easiest. And step number 3, I'm going to plug it into the last one. So we have n plus t is equal to r. So n is 12 plus 18 is equal to r. So we have 30 is equal to r. So 30 radio ads. So if you notice, it's very similar to what we have covered before. Just as soon as you start to solve the problem, it should make sense. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day, and email me if you have any questions. And remember to double check your work. Make sure that you are writing the numbers correctly, because that'll be your first mistake. But email me otherwise, and have a great day. Thanks.